Okay, welcome to second session on probability distributions. So we will start from the point where we stopped in the last session. I hope you have gone through, but since some people are here who were not in last session, I just tell one highlight and then we will start like what we discussed. So basically we didn't delve into detail into distributions. We are to start it today, but we discussed the like probability concepts that we saw in the first sessions, and then we went through what is called a expectation. So expectation is like a mean similar to our descriptive statistics when we give a 2-3 values and we are finding the mean. Similar to that, when you extend that to the probability domain, what we are calling it as expectation or the mean of the corresponding random variable. So we discussed about that. And so I will just go through the equation of that and then we will directly go to some examples. So when we see the examples, we will be clear. So basically, I will start with expectation itself. So expectation is the random variable can be defined as, like you can see the equation here, E of x is equal to sigma, that is summation of all the values that the variable can take and the corresponding probabilities. So if I have a coin toss, it can take head or tail. So I can assign a number to that 0 and 1, and the probability of x will be half for head, half for tail. So it will be like 0 into half plus 1 into half. So that will be like finally half. So that will be expectation for my single coin toss. Similarly, suppose I convert it into a case of a like betting or something, and I will tell that I will give you 10 rupees if you get a head, and you have to give me 5 rupees if I get a head. Things like that also we can solve using similar concept. Here instead of that 0 and 1, I will replace the corresponding values. For example, if I say you will get 10 rupees with a tail, I will put it as 10 into 1 by 2, and you have to give back 5 rupees in case of a head, you will put it as -5. So that way you will get it as finally what is the expected amount that you will get as an outcome by tossing the coin, you will get as 5 by 2. So for solving things like that, you can directly use the expectation formula. And similar to variance in our descriptive statistics, we have a variance here also that is defined as x minus e of x the whole square. That is, it is the expectation value of x minus e of x. That is, you have to find the expectation of x first. Then you have to square that. Then the whole thing you have to square. So that will like give you the variance corresponding to a particular random variable. So a random variable is nothing, but we are converting to a numerical domain, real value domain, where we can assign value 0, 1, -1 like that to the, because if I tell like a coin toss head and tails, I cannot like mathematically treat it. So for a mathematical treatment, the expectation and variance can be used to, a random variable concept can be used to assign real numbers to particular cases that you want when you are considering probability. Then we stopped at an example in last class, so we will start from that point. So I will explain this question itself first. Okay, so we were at this question similar to whatever I told, like 10 rupees, 5 rupees case. So suppose there is a quiz game and there are 2 questions in that, and you have an option whether to answer the first question or the second question, or the other way around. That is, second question you can answer in the first try, followed by the first question. But in that 2-3 constraints are there. Like one, if the first question is attempted incorrectly, you will not proceed to the next question. And if it is answered correctly only, the person is allowed to attempt the second question. Now here there is a probability as well as a amount or a gift that you have been told, which is associated with the correct question. So this part we will try to write it into like a tree diagram. So that will make the problem statement more clear. So suppose I have to first choose a question. So I will tell the case where I choose the first question and I got it right. Then in that case the probability is 0.8. If I choose the first question, there is a 0.8 probability that I will get it correct. In which case I am told that I will receive a price of 100 rupees. So that means that if I get that question wrong, with a probability of 0.2, then I am left with nothing. I will be getting 0 only. Now suppose once I get the 100 rupees, I go for the second question. Second question is again defined like this. There is a probability of 0.5 that I answer it correctly. So the probability that I will answer it wrongly is also 0.5. So in this case, so I will put a plus here. You had initially 0 rupees with you. At this point you got plus 100. So at this point, if you answer it correctly, then you will get it another 200 rupees. So and in case you get it wrong, you will get 0 here. So finally, if you go this path, you will get 300 rupees. If you go this route, you will get 100 rupees. And if you go this route, you will get 0 rupees. This is the case if you answer the first question first. Now suppose you decide to answer the second question first. Similar diagram we can draw. So there's a probability 0.5 that you answer it correctly, and similarly there's a probability 0.5 that you answer it wrongly. So in this case you will get 200 rupees. In this case you will get 0. Then you decide to answer the first question. Again here there is a probability of 0.8 that you answer it correctly and 0.2 that you answer it wrongly. In the first case you will get plus 100. In the second case you will not get anything in this try. So finally in this case you will get plus 300. In this case you will get plus 200, and in this case you will get 0. So if you see the first case and second case, you have 3 outcomes here in which you get 300, 100 and 0. And here you have 3 outcomes in which you get 300, 200 and 0. Now you have to tell me which one of these options should I go for? Should I answer the first question or the second question first, so as to get the maximum probability of, so that I get the maximum amount, so that I am able to get the maximum profit from this particular statement. So chats some answers. So which one should I go for? You consider the 3 options. If the first question I answer first, I have a possibility of getting 300, 100 and 0. And if I have the possibility of answering the second question first, I will get either 300, 200 or 0. I hope this part is clear, right? Okay. Okay, so one option I got is any option is okay. Oh yeah, any option is okay. So but that will be provided I get most. If I get more 2 answers correct, then both options are same to me, because 300 I will get in either case. So but here I am assigned the probability also 0.8, 0.2 and all. So I need to when I put that also into picture, it is not like both options will give me the same outcome, because I can come at any of the 3 points in the first case as well as any of the 3 points in the second case. So if you just think normally you will feel that okay, I have a possibility of getting 300 and 200 here, whereas here I have a probability of getting 300 and 100 only. So why not I go for the second thing? So like that is what I would think it on the first try. So for things like that, we can use the same concept of expectation that we saw earlier, where what we told, we will multiply the probability by the amount that we get. So we will try to do that. So here I have to do what? I have to, our formula is sigma x into p of x. So my x here is my probabilities in each case. That's amount in each case, whereas p of x will be my probability in each case. So if you consider this first case, you will get as my 0.2 into 0, then again 0.8 into 0.8 into 0.5 into 100. So my first term will be, this will be 0. Then second term will be 0.8 into 0.5 into 100, that is 0.4 into 100, right? So that is what? 40. Then in the third case I will get 0.8 into 0.5 into 300, right? If I take this path, I multiply the probabilities in this path by the total amount that I will get in this path, so that I will get 120. So my mean value that I will get if I go through this route is sum of all this, that is 160. Now the second option we can do the same way. So in this case 0.5 into 0, 0, 0.5 into 0.2 into 200. So that will give me something like 20. The top case is same as the previous case, 0.5 into 0.8 into 300, so that will be 120. So this adding these two, I will get 140. So as you see, if I try to approach the problem statement from a probability point of view and try to solve it using the expectation method, that's mean value. Like if I have a thing like this, I go on repeating multiple times, then the net amount, mean amount, that average amount that I will get in tries is 160 if I go for the first case. That is, I answer the first question first. Whereas in the second case that I go for the second question and answer it first, the expectation value or the average that I will get is 140. So definitely from this you can see that this option of answering the simpler question is more beneficial to me in the long run. I hope you got it right. Then we will go to 2 more examples similar to this. Okay. So basically the first question is like this. Production from a production lot, a quality inspector took 7 items and it has 4 good components and 3 bad components. Then from out of that 7, the quality inspector takes 3 samples and you are told to find out what is the number of expected value of the good number of samples in this. So if you see this thing, you will have to like split up using combination. Like you are taking 3 samples from out of 7 and you have told here that 4 are good, 3 are bad. Now let's first try to find out the probabilities. Now here I have different cases. The one is there I have 0 good values in this, 1 good number, 2 good numbers and 3 good numbers. So I have out of the 7, right? 7 is my total. So if you go to our combination case, we have total. Yeah. How many cases? How many choices we have to make? In this case, I am making what? In our combination case is NCR, right? So if we write like this, I have from 7 or from 4 numbers of good one, I took 0. Then from 3 numbers of bad ones, I took all 3. And my denominator will be total number of 7 things I have, out of which I have to choose 3. So 4 is 0. I hope you got it, how we got this, right? So we will like multiply my total options that are my favorable outcomes, which is I have 0 good elements. So I will take out of the 4, I didn't take anything. And all the 3 things that I took are bad ones. So in this case, I will get, if you do this, you will get this as 1 by 35. We will not go into solving it again, how we got this and all. So that you can just go through our previous examples so that you will come to know how we arrived at 1 by 30. Both these we will get 1. And if you do the bottom thing, you will get 7 into 6 into 5 by 3 into 2. So that is 35. So that will be my case for when the number of good elements are 0. Now when the number of good elements are 1, similar way I can tell that from the 4 good ones I took 1 number, from the 3 bad ones I took 2 numbers, and out of the total 7 numbers I have to take 3 elements. So that way if you solve, you will get it as, you will get one additional 4 3C2, 4 into 3 here. So you will get it as 12 by 35. So we will not go into this multiplication of combination and all. You can try that on your own because we covered it in a previous session. So we'll just go through how you can solve certain problems using probability. Now again, coming to a third case, I have 2 good samples. So in that case, out of the 4 good samples, I am taking 2, and then my third sample is 1 from a bad one. So 4C2 into 3C1 by, again denominator is same, 7C3. So this I will get as 18 by 35. So that is basically 4 into 3 into 3 that will get divided by 2. So 3 into 3 into 2. That way it will come as 18. So then coming to last case, all 3 are good. So out of the 4 ones I took 4 good ones, I took 3, and out of the 3 bad ones I didn't take anything. My denominator is same. 7 total elements, I have to take 3 numbers. So that I will get as 4 by 35. Since 3C0 is 1, 4C3 is 4. So I will get 4 by 35. Now same way as our previous expected case, I have to multiply all this. 0 into 1 by 35 is 0. Then 1 into 12 by 35 is 12 by 35. Then 2 into 18 by 35 is 36 by 35. 36 by 35. Then 4 into 4 by 35 is 16 by 35. So adding all these, I will get 36 plus 12, 48 plus 16, 64, right? So I'll get answer as 64 by 35. Something around maybe not exact, maybe around 1.7 or something like that I will get. So as you can see, what this tells me that suppose from the 7 components, a inspector takes 3 samples. In an average, 1.7 out of that only can be good. That means the rest, that is 1.2, there can be a probability that it can be bad ones. Now, so you can see here a college inspector can take it only 1, 2, 3. Now you can wonder, you may wonder how that decimals came here. So this is like the concept with expectation that you are supposed to do this like n number of times, a large number of times, and in that case the outcome is expected to be 1.7, because if you do it one time you will get either like we saw 0, 1, 2, 3 only. You will not get like decimal values in between. This is a like a discrete distribution. So, but the expectation value tells you that if you repeat this experiment a very large number of times, then the net number of times you will get a particular outcome that you want is 1.7 in this case, and the opposite outcome will be like 3 minus 1.7, that is 1.3. Okay, so similar question that we can solve. Now the next thing is actually very simple. You are actually given some like messages which are transmitted, how much time it will take and the probability it will take for each. So from Boston to New York, it is told that messages will go through with a probability 0.5 and it will take a time 0.05. From Boston to Chicago with probability 0.3, and in that it will take 0.1 seconds transit time. And from Boston to San Francisco with probability 0.2 with time 0.3 seconds. Now you are supposed to find out the total transit time for the messages. Now from the problem itself, you can even if you don't know any variance expectation and all, you can know that this is just like multiply the probability by the transit time, then add it total. But since we went through expectation just now, we know that this is an application of the sigma x p of x case that we saw, where my x is the transit time and p of x is the probability that it will go through a particular route. So if you multiply 0.5 by 0.05, that will be like what, 0.025, right? Then 0.3 by 0.1, that will be 0.03, right? And 0.2 by 0.3, 0.06, something like this here. So once you do like this, 0.5 into 0.05 plus 0.1 into 0.3 plus 0.2 into 0.3, you will get like what is the expected. So if you add what we got, 0.25, right? 3 decimal points, 0.025, 0.03 and 0.06, right? So you add all this, you will get 0.0115. So this is my transit time, average transit time in this case.